I'm conversing with their higher self. I'm conversing with their soul. And the next thing you knew, he went over the deep end. And the next thing you know, you would hear from the person's spirit guide informing him that these series of questions or this question would not be answered. You wouldn't be going any further with this one, buddy. Well, hello there, everyone. We're going to be talking about near-death experiences. We're going to be talking about life in between life and what is it like when you cross over. And where are we sourcing this information from? We're going to be talking about the book, Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. And he has his doctorate as a hypnotherapist, has since crossed over. But this book, in my opinion, is a must read. For those of you who have read this book, also know that after the book, Journey of Souls, comes the book, Destiny of Souls. So if you really enjoyed the first book, you'll definitely want to watch or read the second book. And of course, you guys can get it on audio, or if you want to buy it on Kindle or have the paperback copy, highly recommend. I remember being about 27, 28, and I started to read this book, and I said to myself, whoa, this is really good. And the most important part was it really resonated with me. Now, this hypnotherapist, he was an atheist, okay? He didn't believe in life after death or heaven or any kind of a religion. And so that's what makes this even more interesting, is that this gentleman, Michael Newton, I should say Dr. Michael Newton, he didn't believe in life after death. So as a master hypnotherapist, he was quite shocked and surprised when he was performing hypnotherapy on his patients and came to realize, oh, I'm now conversing with their superconscious state of mind. I am now conversing with their soul. He was also conversing with their spirit guides from time to time. So he would ask a series of questions, and you'll see that in the book. And the book is narrowed down to 29 patients. Okay. He had many, many more. But of course, for the sake of a book, you got to narrow it down a little bit. What he did was he would ask them series after series of questions once he realized, oh my goodness, I'm conversing with their higher self. I'm conversing with their soul. And the next thing you knew, he went over the deep end, shall we say. And the next thing you know, you would hear from the person's spirit guide informing him that these series of questions or this question would not be answered. You wouldn't be going any further with this one, buddy. It was an absolute must read. I'm telling you guys, it was spectacular. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to share out my live to my group, Intuitive Angel Messages, and then we're going to be off to the races. There we go. Yeah, so I'll just pop that up over there. Now I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about the book, and then you can decide if that's something that you would like to read in the future. It is a must read, in my opinion. Journey of Souls is the record of 29 people who recalled their experiences. When Dr. Michael Newton, who is a certified master hypnotherapist, began regressing his clients back in time to across their memories of former lives, he stumbled onto a discovery of enormous proportions. Can you imagine how shocked he must have been? He basically stumbled onto this, and as an atheist, you can only imagine how shocked he was. That it is possible to see into the spirit world through the mind's eye of subjects who are in a hypnotized or superconscious state. Dr. Newton himself claimed to be an atheist, but spent many years studying patients using past life regression, taking them back to before their births and after their deaths, asking questions about life in the next realm, how they are greeted there, what they learn, and how their choices are made to reincarnate into their next lives. So how cool is that? So what is it that your soul is deciding, or why is it's agreeing to incarnate into the next life? Death does not break our continuity with the immortal soul of those we love simply because they are lost. They have lost their physical, mortal body. So just because your loved ones leave their body, it doesn't mean that we're disconnected from them. In fact, what I've come to realize when I've been giving readings all these years is our loved ones know everything. They know what we're thinking. They know what we're up to on earth. There's nothing that they don't know because energy does not die and energy can be anywhere and everywhere all at once. It's omnipresent. And I think that's pretty cool. Soul spirits are said to be masses of white light that whirl around. Souls are made up of energy. The human body dies, but energy doesn't die. Winky wink. In this book, you will learn how it feels to die, what you see and feel right after death, the truth about spiritual guides, what happens to disturbed souls, why you are assigned to certain soul groups in the spirit world, and what you do there. So this is also something that I've seen when I've been giving several readings over and over and over, is I'll see souls within a soul group. And then as you incarnate, you may choose to incarnate with some of your soulmates from your soul group. Some of them might hang back and be your spirit guide. Okay. And then of course you might incarnate with other souls from other soul groups. They call those your kindred spirits. Or your energy is housed in two different bodies on earth. That's a possibility too, also known as a twin flame. So when you look at, as you evolve and grow, you might move into another soul group, or you may have other souls that move into your soul group. How you choose another body to return to earth and the different levels of souls. So there's different levels according to what he's found as a hypnotherapist in writing this book. Beginning, intermediate, and advanced. I guess we would call this maybe old souls. So if you've had a lot of incarnations, sure, you've had a lot of incarnations. You may have, but maybe you've had quite a few here on earth, and that's why it doesn't feel so homey to you. Or you may have just jumped the gun and you haven't had that many incarnations overall anywhere else off earth or on earth. And this is more of a beginning stage for you. If you feel like, oh yeah, I've been here before, I'm gonna have a great time here on earth, I'm gonna rock this up, I feel like I've been to many different places, this is an old hat to me, then you're looking at being an advanced soul, okay? When and where you first learn to recognize soulmates on earth, so how do you recognize them? This is another thing this book will teach you, and the purpose of life with them. Why are you here on earth? Where will you go after death? What will happen to you when you get there? And if you're interested in NDEs or near-death experiences on YouTube, then really this book is even better, in my opinion. And it's all about expansion and growth. Even if some parts of it you're like, oh yeah, I resonate with, and the other parts you don't. I really had nothing to base it on. So when I started reading it, I was very much unawake and I was not interested in religion, but I wasn't an atheist. So I was just kind of open-minded and I just would feel what resonated with me and what didn't. We are told that when a new soul enters the afterlife, they are given a review of their life before moving on and meeting lost loved ones. He talks about evil wrongdoers who will have karmic lessons to learn in the next life. When choosing our next life, there is an agreement made to not remember a past life, because learning is better from a clean slate. So if you wonder why you have amnesia and you can't remember anything before this lifetime here on Earth, it's all about having a clean slate. Souls in different stages of progressing in the next life emit different colors of spirit according to which groups they are in. We learn that some souls choose to never go back to Earth for another life. We learn that every soul who chooses a particular new life has a motive for choosing that life, and that there is usually some kind of karmic reason, whether pleasant or painful, the soul seeks when choosing the next life. And the number one thing that I will hear from the angels pretty much for the past 5 years now, consistently, is that we don't need to be focusing heavily on karma or karmic debt. And does anybody have any idea why that would be? Why is it that we don't have to heavily focus on karma? Oh, that karmic debt. You're going to be repaying that. Mm-hmm. Any idea? A lot of people talk about it. I've noticed recently. So I just try to relay to them what the angels have said to me, which is, as we are all ascending on Earth, including the planet herself, we move in onto a path of ascension, right? We're anchoring more light. What does the light do to karmic debt or anything heavy within you that needs to be transmuted? So I just let the light take care of it. And let's be real. Do I want to hold on to heavy stuff that somebody did to me from like 10, 100,000 lifetimes ago? No. Yeah. So the light will transmute any heaviness, and I just let the light wash over the planet and me, and I let it transmute any karmic debt, if you will. I don't like the word debt. Like, I did something wrong, so therefore I owe punishment for this wrongdoing. And that to me, or I owe something, or I'm going to be repaying something. When you move forward and you evolve, say we're going to go into the 5D at some point and stay there, we're not going to be thinking about karmic debt or even talking about it. And in many ways, I've heard ascended masters, like it was Mary Magdalene that brought it to my attention. Instead of focusing on shadow work, focus on light work. Because what you focus on perpetually is what you create. So you'll notice that people that talk about shadow work, they've been talking about it now for about 15 years, maybe longer, constantly focusing on it, constantly perpetuating it. So focus on the lighter aspects. What are the things that you love? What are the things that you enjoy in your life? What is it about you that you love? And you will amplify that. Often, Caroline, I'll hear the angels singing that song from Frozen. Let it go, let it go. So a lot of other planets have fully ascended. A lot of the Pleiadian planets, when I go to look at them now, they're just balls of light. And so when you look at where we're heading with Earth, we are ascending. We are moving into light. That's where the planet's going. And so right now it's like cleanup crew. Anything heavy comes to the surface and can be easily seen. We were seeing a lot of things happening on Earth right now that we never thought we'd ever see. I certainly haven't. Oh my goodness. I keep saying to my friends, I'm like, in the entire lifetime I've lived, I never thought that I would be seeing what I'm seeing now. I'm sure many of you have been saying the same thing. Are there any questions that you have that you'd like to ask about Journey of Souls by Michael Newton near-death experiences, life after death. What is it like when you cross over? I mean, I can answer that question based on what I see souls showing me when I give readings, and it lines up with what I have read from Journey of Souls. Why does a soul choose to come in and do naughty stuff on Earth? Why does a soul choose to be a narcissist or an a-hole? So there's reasons and purposes for all of this. It's not just, oh, because he felt like it, although I'm sure some souls may turn in that direction. But some souls choose to sign up to play that part, to be the contrast for others to learn and grow from, to suffer from, to move forward from, to say no more. The worst nightmare for a narcissist is an educated empath. So there's a much bigger story being told than what you might think. All we do here is just blame. But it's much, much bigger than that. So maybe one soul signs up to be the victim and one the perpetrator, etc. Although I think as we move along and we keep incarnating into the future, they feel like they're shifting, like we are holding more light. I can't resist. I can't have low vibrational thoughts as once. I can't push against it. I can't eat the foods maybe that I once could or the portions that I once could. So things are changing and moving in a different direction. But what I see typically is a life review that souls go through. If things were really difficult or hard, maybe a soul chose to leave on their own accord. I see them sitting in a classroom to learn and grow from that. And I also see the spirit world, them crossing over. Sometimes they go into like what looks like a hospital setting while their energy is being worked on. And other times, if a person has had a very long lifetime, they go into what looks like a rest chamber, and it's really close to the light, and they're just having a deep rest after being on Earth for so long. Do other souls know where you've been in heaven? You bet they do. They know where you've been, what you've been up to. They know everything. Everything is telepathic communication. They can sense where you've been, what you're up to, what your frequency is. They know everything. Exactly, Meg. So it forces us to draw boundaries and no longer tolerate these low vibrational people. Also, when you focus on light work and you focus on moving in a different direction, it's so interesting because in the very beginning, everybody talked about 5D and you'll never see your loved ones again. And I'm like, what? What are they just going to do? Just evaporate? Like Star Trek or something? But you'll just find that you just can't spend time with those people anymore, whether they're friends or family members, and they just kind of leave your experience and they're no longer a vibrational match. And you can't force the relationship to continue. You can't force yourself to put a smile on and hang around them. And so, yeah, they do disappear from your life. Just you never see them because they're maybe lighter in frequency, or maybe they're a little bit heavier in frequency. Now, one of the things that I read, which I found fascinating in this book, is instead of remembering all of life before this incarnation, souls, what they do is they make sure to have a lack of memory. So they make sure that they do not remember anything before coming into this, like this clean slate that they speak of. So in the book, it was like a large pink river. And one of the gentlemen that came to Michael Newton, which was written in Journey of Souls, which I found fascinating, is this soul. He knew he was coming in. He's going to be a male. And they said, now make sure that you immerse yourself into this pink river of energy before you incarnate into your body. He was like, I'm not going to do that. I want to remember. And he went right into his body. So he was having quite a few issues in his lifetime here on Earth, in this lifetime, because He skipped the Pink River. And he was able to remember a lot of things from previous lifetimes. And I thought that was fascinating. I'm like, so remember, if they tell you to dip your soul in the Pink River, you do it. Ah. So your mom feels as though she had a near-death experience while she was giving birth to you, and she was looking over her body. I would say that's definitely near-death experience. So she was looking over her body, watching the midlife reviving her. Wow. Wow. Isn't that amazing? I mean, just thank goodness we have what we have in this day of age with childbirth. Thank goodness. Yeah, and those kinds of experiences change you forever, don't they? They really do. If you feel like taking the Transcendental Meditation or TM class coming up in August, typically to learn TM, I think it's $3,000 or more, probably higher than that. And if you want to take this class, we're going to be doing the basics of what my grandmother taught me, who was a TM teacher, and that's going to be $30. Also, if it interests you to have a reading, I have them on for 20% off, and there's only 4 spots left. So if you feel like having a reading, you guys can go to KristinDaviesMedium.com. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your long weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.